Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my preview and analysis of the Week 2 2016 matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins. Now, as far as Washington last week, they looked far than impressive. They got trounced by Pittsburgh in that game. I think the score is like 38-16. There were some turnovers committed by Washington in that game, and really that did play an integral role as far as them getting blown out. And this was a team that was 6-2 at home last season. Now you look at the Dallas Cowboys. Now Dallas Cowboys, of course, are without their starting QB Tony Romo. They're going to have Dak Prescott play, and the Cowboys did not look terrible last week. They lost 20-19 to the New York Giants. That was at Dallas. Now they got to go on the road against Washington, another divisional opponent. As I stated before, Washington was 6-2 at home last season. The thing what's interesting about the Washington Redskins, though, is that last season when they went 9-7, all 9 of their wins came against teams that were 500 or below. Now you look right now, Dallas is coming to town, and guess what? They're 0-1, so they qualify as one of those teams that are 500 or below. I do see Washington prevailing in this game. I think we're going to see in this game whether if Washington loses, we might be looking at Washington like maybe last season was an aberration, even though it'll only be 2 games into the season. But Washington was a team that made the postseason last year. I think what we have to look at as far as the Washington Redskins go is if Josh Norman, cornerback for the Washington Redskins, is he makes sure they have him on one of the better receivers for Dallas, because last week I think what happened was that Josh Norman was not on Antonio Brown, who was pretty much, I think, in my opinion, unequivocally the best receiver on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if they could at least put him on the top receiver for Dallas, then it may be Jason Witten, but it could be, that's up to a lot of people are going to have a different varying view on that perhaps, but at least on one of the better receivers on Dallas, then that could certainly augment their chances of winning, I think. And you look at, okay, Dak Prescott going into this game, okay, they almost pulled out a victory against the Giants last week at home. I think in this game being a divisional game, and given the fact that Washington, despite being the reigning NFC East champions, is not really, I don't see them as a great team. I see Dallas as a team that can go in there. They may surprise them. I think they'll make it a competitive game. I don't think Dallas may not have Tony Romo, but it doesn't mean that they're just this completely terrible team. Now they can at least be competitive in this game, I believe. But when it comes down to it, I look at this as a team with the Redskins. I think their receivers are going to likely outplay the defense, the cornerbacks of the Dallas Cowboys. And I think when you look at the other side of the coin, with Josh Norman added to the Washington defense, now granted they really didn't look stellar last week, but I think you'll see some redemption and they will play better. And I think they will play good enough to at least contain the Dallas receivers in this particular game. I look for the Washington Redskins defensive line, the people that are whoever's going to be rushing the quarterback. I look for them to put on a very strong pass rush against Dak Prescott and force him into some errant throws, and which will hopefully for Washington will help lead them to a victory. I believe the Redskins will win this game, and I do like the Redskins to win this one in a close one, so I'm taking the Washington Redskins. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for the Week 2 2016 matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.